get my ice cream too.
Okay,
I
okay.
like this place. Let's go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, where would you want to go?
I want to go to Baskin Robbins. They got more flavors.
Change.
I want to go to Isley's because they have Klondike bars.
Oh, I like those. Let's go over there. Oh, that's a great idea.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, look, wait a second. Here comes the Mr. Softy truck. He always has the best treats ever.
Change.
Here comes the Jack and Jill truck. They have delicious candy as well as ice cream.
Oh, me first. Okay.
They have milkshakes.
Okay, you want to go? I don't know what I want. You go and ask him. Ask him what you want. Tell him. I think that I will not have any ice cream at all today.
Change.
Yeah, I love ice cream. What am I saying? I'm going to have ice cream today. I don't care what anybody says. I want ice cream sandwich. Ice cream sandwich with those little chocolatey bits in there. You know?
I want sherbet. I want orange and lime and lemon all running down my hand because I can't eat it fast enough. I want a big cone.
Change.
Well, I'm not that hungry. I think
Well, I want a vanilla milkshake, extra thick.
Oh, the last time you did that.
I want a chocolate milkshake that tastes like it's been out in the sun all day.
Change.
I want whatever that thing is crawling on the counter.
Not if I get there
You
first.
always get the thing that's crawling on the counter.
I can't help it. It's the tastiest thing ever.
Corona?
Thank you. That was fun for a short time. So let's try another one. I have listed foreign film dub. Does everybody know what foreign film dub is?
Yes.
All right. Just for the clarity of our recording, I will explain very briefly that two actors are going to act out a scene from a foreign language film. We'll get one of you to suggest the title of the film and what language it's supposed to be in. The two actors will, in probably very horrible accents, attempt to speak in that language and give the dialogue in a scene back and forth between two different characters. Two other performers, however, will translate for them and say what it was that the actors just said in that scene. So it's going to have to go one at a time. So one actor will speak in the foreign language, and then a second person will translate for them, then the other foreign language, and the second translator. Who would like, with hands raised, to be a foreign language performer? Spencer, you're one. Jen and Spencer are the actors in our scene, acting in the foreign language. Janice, what foreign language should they be speaking?
Oh, thank you. American Sign Language.
I like that. That's good. Thank you. Bob, what is the title of the film that they're acting a scene from?
The Disorderly Orderly.
The Disorderly Orderly. So Jen and Spencer are going to be acting out a scene from The Disorderly Orderly using American Sign Language. And Dave and Armand. Dave, you will be translating for Jen, and Armand, you will be translating for Spencer. So begin the scene, but one character, and then the translation, then the other character, and the translation.
Here's the problem. When you do sign language, it doesn't have any sound, so the camera won't focus on the person who's doing the signing.
That is true.
Okay. How about
you got to put it in gallery mode.
I'm trying.
I'm in gallery mode.
I'm in gallery mode. If you are not in gallery mode, you might want to switch it to that. That's true. That was a drawback to this. Do you see gallery mode? It should be
Got it.
A toggle between speaker view and gallery mode in the upper corner.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
All right. Begin again.
What are you doing with that bucket?
Old Lady Johnson threw up.
Again? Did she cough up her dentures with him this time?
Strangely enough, not just her dentures, but the dentures of the person in the bed next to her, and it got all over his face.
His hair too?
Enough about that. What do you think about that cute orderly that's just started work today?
He's so cool. I think he's an Aquarius.
You know, I don't care what he looks like. When he's eating those graham crackers in the lunchroom, it's it gets me all hot and bothered.
You know, I saw him playing basketball in the gym the other day, and he was walking like an Egyptian.
Yeah, and I saw him performing his mime act last night.
There's an app for that.
You know, my dad once told me, as I was sitting at home by his knee, he said to me, you know, that you should really listen to these words of advice that I have for you, that all the world's a stage and a mime is a terrible thing to waste.
I know.
and the dramatic conclusion.
Well, we're out of time. Gotta go. Quit hanging around.
Armand, you can speak for me anytime, babe.
Well, I'd like to stick around, but I'm going to go sleep with that orderly now.
All right, thank you. How many of you, with a show of hands, saw the message and gathered hats or other props for personalities? So we got, yes, Rob, you have a hat. Do you have anything other than the one hat, or is that it?
Where's the other hat?
Okay.
Hold on.
We do. We just have to remember where we put them.
Okay. I'll let you look for those quickly. While you're doing that, perhaps we will play one other game and then do the hat one after that. Let me look at my list here. Here we go. Here's one for Dave and Armand together. This is Expert, in which we're going to have one of you audience members come up with the topic, an obscure subject that somebody is an expert on. Dave is going to be that expert. Armand, you are going to be the interviewer, asking him questions to elaborate and talk about his expertise in that particular subject. So what I need from somebody else in the audience, and I'll just open it up for whoever wants to throw something out, is an obscure subject that Mr. Dave here would be an expert on.
Diseases of bees.
Diseases?
Mullets.
Mullets?
Toenail fungus in Emily Bronte.
Arthritic
Can we have
conditions of
one
bees.
thing I can be an expert on?
Let's go with mullets. It's a broad category that gives
Mullets.
you mullets.
I'm an expert on mullets.
You're an expert on mullets.
Okay.
Now, here's a twist to this. The expert game is usually just 2 players. However, as the interview is progressing, any one of the rest of you, just one, whoever happens to have an idea, can jump in after Dave has expressed his expertise and Armand has asked him a couple of questions, and serve as a counterpoint who has a completely different attitude and information about mullets. So we're going to begin with Armand interviewing Dave, an expert on mullets, and somebody else will join them later.
Welcome, Dave. So happy to have you here on our show to talk about mullets.
Glad to be a part of this.
My first question is, when did you get into the whole mullet craze?
Well, pretty much like everyone else in the the mid to late 80s. That was the era of where, you know, you still wanted to have a good time, but you still had to, you know, present yourself in a way that could get you a job if you had to go in for an interview, where, you know, it's like business up front, party in the back. So as long as you were facing your boss, it was great. The minute you turned around, though, he thought that you were kind of like, you know, fooling around on the job. So it was very important back then, and even more so today, that you have to, you know, face the right way. Any other questions, Armand?
Did you find yourself then backing out of rooms and such often?
It would depend on the type of room I was in. If I was backing out of a business place, then absolutely backing out is safer, so you can keep that business side forward. But if I'm at a party, I don't necessarily want to turn around and exit, because they might think the party's still going on when I'm trying to leave, if you know what I'm talking about.
Of course. So conversely, how often did you find yourself becoming the life of the party with the mullet?
It was quite often, in fact. You know, the bigger the coif, the bigger other things are. If you catch where I'm going there, yes, I was quite the party animal there. And you know, the great thing about a mullet is you don't have to have enough up top. As long as you got it on the sides and in the back, that's all that matters, brother. And it's even more important today, because, you know, people have active lifestyles. And so when you're going out in public there, you want to be able to be cool up front there, but you want everyone to know that it's going to be a hot time tonight.
You know,
does anybody else have a differing opinion about mullets?
Okay, no, may I interject here? Hello. Hi there. Yes, it is.
What's your name,
me.
please?
Hello, I am Lady Phyllis Andrews, and I am known for being an expert on the history of the mullet. And this this gentleman, he's lovely man, lovely, nothing personal, sir, but he is so wrong. The mullet did not get started and did not reach its zenith in the 80s. No. That was in the 40s. They had what they call the late 40s with the zoot suiters, and then the early 50s when you had duck's ass. Now, the duck's ass is actually the mullet. Yes, but they were a little bit, yes, because you see, back in the swinging 80s, that came after the 60s and the 70s, so that people felt freer to be what they could be. But in the 50s, they were very uptight, so they had the mullet, the beginning of the mullet, but they would slick it back. And it would be disguised back there. But you knew if you saw a duck butt, you knew that you were looking at someone who was just as freewheeling as you lovely people were in the 70s and 80s, but they could not be as open about it. So no, sir, it did not get started in the 70s and 80s. It got started in the late 40s, early 50s.
I would argue that, because you see, the duck look, as you say, is far too confined and not the wild and free look of the proper mullet. If you're saying that, are you saying that the 1940s, that there were closeted mullets?
I am saying exactly that, sir. Yes, that was the beginning. They did not feel as free, you see, but they started to pave the way for your glorious, lovely, out in the public mullet. But you cannot believe that you came up with it yourself, and the lovely, lovely generation that you are. But no. It did start in the late 40s with the zoot suiters all the way up through the early 50s with the duck butt.
And what did they call it back then? It was like, with a mullet, it's business up front, party in the back. What was it back then? Business up front, slightly less uptight in the back.
Oh no, you will notice they called them duck butts. That is telling you how brave they were.
Duck butt in the back? I think not.
It was more like quack in the back, I think, was what I had heard.
What was that?
Quack in the back.
Well, once you go quack, you never go back.
Thank you. I just got the warning that we are under 10 minutes for the second session. So if everybody has the hats that you had gathered, we will try our hat skit here before we wrap up part 2. You'll notice if you saw in the chat, I sent a message to everybody that has the Zoom link for the third session. Becky, I'll just invite you when I get logged in again. But in the meantime, if when this second session ends, if anybody still wishes to join us for a third and final session, you have the link in the chat. Please copy it into your whatever device's memory so that you can connect to that. And it is scheduled to start at 4:30 my time, which is, well, translate it for your own time zone. So 14 minutes from now. So in the meantime, we have 7.5 minutes to do the hat skit. And what we were going to do was dating service video, which is basically where you put on the hat and you do a little double entendre kind of thing to the camera as if you're recording a promo for a dating service video. So for anybody that has hats, it's really hard to control who's going to do what. So basically, put a hat on, start talking, you'll become the dominant voice in our recording, and we'll just sort of have to work it around that. So feel free to grab some hats and start doing some personalities.
Fezzes are cool. You know what I mean? You know, need I say more? Fezzes are cool. You want to be dating with the cool crowd? Wear a fez. They're cool. If you know what I mean. It'll get you where you want to go. If you know.
Well, the game is afoot. And I have a foot fetish.
Mrs. Peel, you're needed.
Do I really have to say it out loud? Yes, I'm a little horny.
When you are this old, dating you might not being.
I know who's been naughty and who's been nice.
You like my horns? Do you like my horns?
Hey
like
there. I like riding reverse cowboy.
I like playing baseball in movie theaters.
I can make things a little steamy.
Hey, baby, you want to play some reindeer games? Come on. Come on. Reindeer games right here. Come on.
Want to kiss my head?
Oh, jeez.
Would you like some French kissing? Oui, oui.
Oh.
I've been watching you.
Hey, girl. I'll give you a night you won't forget.
Come ride with me.
I'm making it up as I go.
Hey, you want to come see my diploma? Come on. I'll show you my diploma. Come on.
Why, yes, I'm a merry man.
Oh my gosh.
God. Any other hats? I think that's pretty much. Oh, no, we got one more.
Oh, of course.
All right, up against the wall.
Oh.
Up against the wall.
Spread them.
Very unresting.
How about a one-night stand?
Ugh.
Armor. I have armor for you.
Ah,
Oh,
you feel like getting together with a chain mail?
Oh.
I promise, I'm safe.
I'm feeling frisky tonight.
Oh, good God. You're going to cop a feel. You're going to cop a feel. I know it.
I know, I was actually trying to avoid that most obvious one.
Thank you. That was actually pretty damn good, I think. So, I think it looks like we're about a minute and a half away from ending this session, so I will just manually end it. And anybody that wants to join us, give you a few more seconds to look at that link in the chat session. We will start the chat, or not the chat, we'll start session 3 and the final session in about 8-9 minutes. One of the drawbacks here is that I am recording these, but it takes a while for the processing of the recording, so I can't start the next one until the previous one is already completed. So that's why we're going to have about a 10-minute break here. So we'll join you again in about 10 minutes.
Radio.
Thank you. See you later.